Russell Gahagan here from Russell's Fishing Tech. We're live from the Boat Center in Chippewa Falls. I want to do a little more of this for you guys, a little more action stuff at some of these places where you can take a look at boats, get in boats, see what the options are if you're in the boat market. Maybe you're interested in upgrading to a little bit bigger boat or a newer boat. You know, we did this one with one of our customers, Patrick, not that long ago, talking about that all-welded aluminum boat that he was picking up. Now we're looking at Warrior's new 238. This is pretty much the biggest, you know, walleye-style trailerable boat on the market right now. And we're going to take a deep dig into this thing to show you kind of what this is and why this thing is going to be so ideal for the Great Lakes. Let's start in the back of the boat here. So coming to the back of the boat, we're taking a look at the transom is the first thing that I think is important to take a look at. This is the widest transom on the market for walleye-style boats. You're talking 30-inch wide transom. What does that mean? That means stability. You're going to have great stability in big waves. And if you're a Great Lakes fisherman or Green Bay, Lake Erie, you know, big water walleye guy, you're going to deal with big waves. So the stability is going to be a huge advantage. One of the other advantages of Warrior boats is all of them come with trim tabs built in. What is a trim tab? If you don't know what a trim tab is, because a lot of walleye boats don't come with them, it allows you to adjust the boat up and down the bow of the boat on each side individually. Why is that important? Well, the angle of the waves can change the stability of the boat, but also the weight in the boat. So if one person's quite a bit heavier than another, or for example, let's say we got 3 people in this boat, and you can look at me, I'm not a big dude, so if I'm driving and we got 2 guys on the other side of the boat that are both over 250 pounds, the boat's gonna likely lean like this. I have the ability with the trim tabs to stabilize that boat to offer a much better, more comfortable and smoother ride. This boat's set up with 2 engines here. You got the main motor, which is a Mercury 400 Verado. 400 is a big motor. It's gonna give about 60 miles an hour out of this boat for a 22-foot boat. That's a lot of speed. In my opinion, I think you could come down to a 300 Pro XS and save yourself probably 10 to 15 grand. You're going to get down in that low 50s in speed, but you'd save quite a bit of money on fuel. And for most of us big water guys, if you're fishing Green Bay, Lake Erie, Lake Michigan, Lake Ontario, your opportunity to go 50 plus miles an hour is not very often. You're probably going to do a lot of 20 and 30 mile an hour powering. So, you know, I just don't know if you need that 400 speed, but hey, if you're a speed guy and you want it, this one's rigged up with it. We're also looking at the Mercury Pro Kicker here. This is the 15 horse, which you need to push this big boat. This is the one that's got the alternator built in that charges back into your batteries. For us guys that troll 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 hours at a time, you know, that's a huge advantage. Let's get in the boat and take a look at what it looks like. All right, so we're in this 238 Warrior now. Again, I mentioned before, this is about 22 feet long overall. It's got that 400 Verado on it and that 15 horsepower Mercury Pro Kicker. Let's take a look at some of the things here at the back of the boat that I like. First and foremost, if you're a Great Lakes troller, you're likely going to fish a lot of times with 2 and even 3 and sometimes 4 people. Well, one of the things you don't want in a boat if you're a trolling person is you don't want these seats right here. You can see it comes with the standard 2 extra seats plus the captain's chair and the passenger chair. You really, all the boats I've ever had have almost all come with these. I've almost never used them. The issue is they get in the way of all kinds of trolling. So what this boat has that a lot of the other ones don't as an option that I really like is it has what I call jump seats. So if you flip these up right here, you have 2 nice, comfortable, safe positions for passengers to ride in while you're powering out, powering back into your spot, or if you just want to take a seat and take a break when you're getting ready to watch the action, you've got 2 great opportunities here. One of the things that both of them have is underneath they both have a nice storage system that's set up for clear plano trays. So you can get a lot of tackle in each one of these, which is a great use of the space by Warrior, not just dead space. Of course, you got a big live well, because this boat is going to be used by big water walleye tournament guys. Live well's not such a big deal for salmon guys. You can throw your salmon in there, of course, but for walleye guys, it's a big, deep, insulated live well. It's going to give you a really good spot there to hold your fish. And in the back of the boat, the fish won't bounce around as much as they do in some of the boats that have live wells up in the front. So hopefully you'll be able to take a little better care of those fish while you're powering in and out in big water. Another thing I noticed was in the back here, there's 4, 2 on each side, rod locker spots. You have a rod locker here, which is just a slide-in style rod locker that's actually 12.5 feet. And then you got another rod locker down here that I think a lot of guys will probably use for tackle on each side. But you could also put rods in there that flips down on both sides. So you could get rods in there, but I think a lot of guys are going to probably use that for tackle boxes. It's a really nice spot to put them back there. That way they're back here where you're fishing. You could throw some rods that maybe you think you might use, but you're not sure, right in this area here. That's kind of what I'm thinking. If I had my 6 or 9 rod spread picked out for the day, I'd probably put it in the center rod locker. And then if I was going to make a change, probably put 2 or 3 extra rods on each side here that I might switch to. So as we get up to the chairs and the wheel, one of the things with Warrior boats right off the bat is captain and passenger chair are probably the most comfortable of all the boats I've ever been in. It's a very nice, comfortable chair, something that you can be confident and comfortable in to sit in for 6, 8, 10 hours at a time. It's got a very nice looking dash. Nothing, I wouldn't say super fancy, but nice looking. Everything's labeled well. You got your trim tabs right here. Here's your buttons for your trim tabs, so it tells you bow up and bow down, so you understand what you're doing. And you can do it individually, or you can click the button that allows you to do both of them at the same time. So again, for those of you who aren't very familiar with trim tabs, it's something that I'm very accustomed to on all big salmon boats. And it just allows you to balance that boat out on either side, or you can lift or raise the bow on both sides if you want. So if you want to bury that bow into the waves a little bit, or you want to get it up out of the water a little bit if you're in a following sea, you can do that with the trim tabs. This is obviously a full windshield model, very, very common for big water boats. If you're going to fish, again, Lake Erie, Green Bay, Lake Michigan, Lake Ontario, you're going to get in some big waves. It's going to help keep you dry. Let's take a look at this center rod storage, which is what I'm really excited about. We've got a 9'6" full rod lock. That is massive. I think that's a huge deal because out on Lake Michigan, we do troll a lot of bigger rods, longer rods, all the way up to 10 plus foot. A lot of guys we rig, especially walleye crossover guys, we rig their longest rod as a 9'6". So you could actually get all of your trolling rods in here if you go 9'6" or less, all in this rod locker. And that's a huge deal because a lot of rod lockers are 7'6", 8 foot, 8'6", maybe up to 9, but this 9'6" gives you an advantage, I feel like, to get a lot of rods in there. Huge advantage there. And then let's just take a look up here at storage. So if you look up here, it's the same on both sides. And what we got is we got a lot of storage. So here you got a bait well or cooler, whatever you'd like to use it for there. Here you just got a complete storage compartment, which goes all the way up towards the bow of the boat. Big storage for life jackets, rain suits, tackle boxes, miscellaneous extra stuff. And this storage type is on both sides. So you got a ton of storage up in the bow. Another thing I like a lot about this boat is that there's not a ton of bow space. There's enough that if you're a crossover walleye salmon guy and you're going to do some shiver minnow casting or whatever, there's definitely plenty up here for one individual or maybe even 2. But as far as this boat, in my opinion, this is a troller's dream. This thing's got 3/4 of the boat is in the back of the boat, and you're going to be able to handle some big water, which is really exciting. Obviously, just like all the other big water boats that Ranger, Skeeter, Yarcraft, they all make, the price tags on these things are definitely up there. But if you're in the market for a new fiberglass boat and you're a crossover walleye or salmon guy, I definitely encourage you to come see this Warrior 238 at the Boat Center in Chippewa Falls. Have a great day. Good luck fishing.